Hello, greetings. Hello, greetings, and welcome. Obviously, I'm in a different place right now. I'm back home from a 3-month trip. So today, I decided to talk about fatherhood and consciousness work. I'm probably going to make this one a bit of a series because obviously I'm a father, and my journey really started probably when I became a father. There was little points of contact where I had these little mini, I guess, awakenings. Like the first time was in 2012 when I started to like sort of question what I was doing. I was in the military, I was the people I was around and taking drugs, but I continued to just keep doing it, even though there's this sort of burning, sort of like self awareness, sort of like what the fuck am I doing? And but I continued to behave like a fuckwit for many years after 2012. And then it wasn't until 2015 where I had a psychedelic journey on mushrooms, an accidental sort of kicking the door open. So I looked through life through a bit of a keyhole, and I kicked the door open through high dose mushrooms sitting in a car, which completely transformed my life. And then not long after that, I landed myself in prison for a year, and that was the main thing that sort of anchored in. I would go to say it's like a non-abiding enlightenment experience that completely shifted me and dissolved uh, perceptions and beliefs very instantaneously. And then after that, when I got out of prison, I sort of all the conditionings and all the patterns and the attachments came flooding back, because when you're in prison, there's a lot of that stripped away from you unless you go looking for a certain attachment. So for one, the only thing I could have really looked for in there was drugs, which I didn't see the point, and that was it. I just trained like an animal and just kind of hung out and meditated and read and socialized and whatnot in there. But then when I came out of prison, I, yeah, man, fuck, got absolutely smashed with my conditionings back in my parents' house, and yeah, fell right back into it. But when I found out my now wife, the woman and girl that who journeyed with me through prison for that year, she fell pregnant, and then that sort of catalyzed the start of my consciousness work journey, where I remember I was like, fuck, I'm not prepared for fatherhood. I haven't done enough work on myself to be a father, and I already had self-worth issues and self-esteem issues and fucking everything under the sun issues going on. But in relation to becoming a dad, I just didn't think I could do it right. I locked in like a fat kid eating a chocolate cake. I was fucking, that scene in Matilda with the fat kid and he eats the cake and he's fucking locked in and he does it and smashes the plate on his head. That was basically me. And as soon as I found out my wife was pregnant, I was like, okay, fuck. And I was just, throwing myself into everything. So, Fatherhood and Consciousness Work series. I'm going to do these, I don't know, often. I'm just going to talk about my journey around navigating doing the work or doing consciousness work, whilst also navigating being a father. Now I've got 3 kids, 7, 6, and 3, and I homeschool, and I work from home, and my wife works from home. So sometimes it can get really intense. I do my best to get up in the morning and do a meditation, but at the moment I've been really just enjoying sleeping in after our big trip. So I'm kind of just lapping that up, just because it's winter, it's cozy, and we all co-sleep, so it's kind of nice in winter where I live. But more to what I want to get at is it is 100% possible as a father to do the work, the inner work, and be a father at the same time. I would almost go to say it's probably like you've been given a gift. I've been given 3 of them, because every child is helping me see conditionings and limiting beliefs and ways of relating that I wouldn't be able to get in contact with, or it would be quite difficult to get in contact with, because they're right in my face and they're pushing those buttons. So through self-inquiry and through what I use is rebirthing breathwork, breathing style to clear it, and work through the different limiting assumptions and limiting perceptions, limiting beliefs, and whatever kind of concepts that I was living by, and really sort of sift through them and just allow them to either dissolve or take a new shape, a new form. And it's really been a fucking journey. If I was speaking to you 7 years ago, I'd be a completely different person, as you would all realize, or any parent who is doing consciousness work whilst being a father knows this. For those that aren't doing consciousness work and they're a father, the first place to start is to pick up a practice. Now, what I believe, and this is my opinion, is pick up a meditation practice, Vipassana is good, and then pick up a breathwork style that is going to clear conditionings and emotions and feelings, and allow you to get in contact with sensations, which Vipassana helps with. But we need to be able to clear what's in the body, so it clears out, so we can get it out, and then pick up a self-inquiry practice and contemplation, as well as study. Just fucking study something, and start to, I prefer Buddhism, like Zen Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhism, and I also do like to dip my toes into esoteric Christianity and Steiner and Gurdjieff's work. So as a father, I believe that these sorts of when you start to allow yourself to be led by, I guess, these great mystics and masters and teachers, a lot of the qualities and the virtues and the values actually relate to being a father, because you need to be able to be present, you need to be able to love, you need to be able to have compassion, you need to be able to learn how to respond, and all of the ways in which where we don't love, or we're not compassionate, or we're not present, and we are reacting to our kids, is because we have conditionings that are in the way. So when we apply using the tools, or find the right facilitator, or find the right person to work with, they can help us start to they can facilitate a space so that we can be witnessed in whatever it is, really. Are we having a physical experience? Maybe it's a physical, mental experience, emotional experience. Maybe it's a full blown out spiritual experience. However it is, we get witnessed in that, and then we can start to have a permanent shift in our consciousness. And this is how we know if we're doing the work or not, is because you'll stop reacting, and the things that used to trigger you don't trigger you anymore, and you'll have more love and more presence and more compassion for those around you, and you'll start to see life far more differently than before. So fatherhood and consciousness work, I don't personally believe are separate things, and I think these days men probably need to become a father to get that kick up the arse, because so many are self-centered. And let's face it, like the journey of enlightenment, it's a selfish journey, but it also at the same time it's selfless. It's kind of like you're hitting two. Like, to truly be selfless, you have to be selfish, and to be selfish, you have to be selfless. It's kind of like a snake eating its tail sort of thing, sort of situation going on. But I feel like men these days, fatherhood's a big wake up. It's an initiation of some form, and a lot of people that do go into this, it shakes them so hard that they're like, holy fuck, I need to like level up, because my child is just running laps around me and bulldozing over me, and there's something not working here, and something needs to be worked with. So yeah, it's an interesting it's an interesting sort of two things you put together. Is you've got like consciousness work, which is like, from what I see, is, really like working on what's not true, what's not real, what's in the way of your true nature. And then you've got fatherhood, which is a role that is 24/7, and that doesn't pay you, and that needs so much energy from you. But at the same time, it needs so much energy from you. If you can stay open to it, it gives you so much as well at the same time. So many people have beliefs that it just takes energy, takes energy, takes energy. But when you realize it's not, it's a snake eating the tail sort of thing. It's also giving you energy. It's giving you energy by showing you where you are not. And I like to call them little cosmic walking, I think, cosmic mirrors. Because for me, it's like you get to grow up with them. You get the opportunity to go through the ages where you may have had experiences and get in contact with those ages. And you don't have to do like breath work, or I'm going to get in touch with age 3 or age 4. It's like you have a whole year of age 3 and a whole year of age 4, and you get to get in contact with lots of behaviors of that age that you may have had moments in life where your parents didn't respond how you probably needed them to, so that you can clear it. So really, fatherhood is like, it's a fucking gift when it comes to consciousness work, but it's not an easy gift. It can be challenging because you have to have discipline to put in the work and find the people that are going to support you on the journey. Because often doing it all yourself isn't going to be the best path or the easiest path, because we need that support. What's that quote where it's like you need a village to raise a family or some shit? Anyway, it's pretty true. Like, trying to do it with just you and your wife, or even by yourself, you're a single parent, it is incredibly difficult. Like, fucking, you get any space. Like, fucking hell. And that's where I think where you need discipline, because you need to choose to do the things that are going to move the needle. You need to choose to do the things that are going to help you shift your consciousness and put in the work so that it does get easier. I know for me, it's like there's certain experiences now in relation to my kids that's just like, it's easy now. I don't have any resistance. Whereas in the past, when you're first starting off being a parent, it's so much fucking resistance. And this is when the work's working, is you're able to, you're just able to respond, and it feels more effortless. That's what it feels like. You start to experience this sort of effortlessness. And so I'm going to leave it there. I've been fucking yabbering on it for a little while. So I'm going to do a bit of a series of fatherhood and consciousness work. And I'm just going to come in and talk about my experiences of fatherhood and what's worked and what's not worked, and maybe some actual examples as well next time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, go well. You.